Well, in order to evaluate the damage brought on by the floods that occurred in April this year, the Ad Hoc Joint Committee on Flood Disaster Relief and Recovery undertook an oversight visit in KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape and the Northwest Province. The Committee on Floods is responsible for overseeing the supposed R1 billion emergency flood fund. After meeting with the premiers and ministers and committee members, and EFF National Chairperson Veronica Mente joins us now to help us understand the situation on the ground. Veronica, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us this morning. We don't seem to be getting any clear answers on the issue of the R1 billion and its disbursement, either from Cabinet or from provincial governments. Are you able to give us a sense of where we are in terms of the funds?
Thank you very much and thank you for having us. You know, it's a very sad moment for the entire country to be witnessing such attitude from government, the I don't care, laissez-faire attitude from government, that our people that have suffered the floods, today they still do not have answers. And there is no intervention from government ever since it was declared the national disaster. And from that moment, we all expected that the national government is going to go in, is going to intervene, is going to make sure that the needs of the people are attended to. And everyone who have suffered, at least by now, they have reconstructed their lives. But up to so far, from the meeting we had with the ministers and from the oversights we had, all the oversights, there was no R1 billion on site. And with the ministers, we only had excuses and blame game that we have asked you to apply, we've asked you to identify the problems and apply to us. You couldn't apply, you don't have a capacity to apply. It's not our fault. And you can see that nobody cares. Because if the local government and the provincial government do not have capacity to apply, to start off with, why did they have to apply when it is a national disaster? A national coordinating team was supposed to be on the ground. It was supposed to be working with them in identifying all the victims of the floods and ensuring that their needs are attended to. And therefore, there is no need for a local government to be the ones utilizing its officials that do not have capacity to apply. The national government, especially from Treasury, we were supposed to have coordinators everywhere that they are dealing with the matters of identifying the problems and putting the problems on paper, sending in and ensuring that the money is sent to provinces and all those needs are attended to.
Well, you and your committee members have been on the ground conducting oversight visits. So in real time, from what you've seen with your own eyes, one is getting the sense that there is no clarity on whether or not those funds have in fact been dispersed, because what Cabinet is saying, certainly through the Minister of the Presidency, Mondli Gungubele, is that some of the funds have been dispersed. Only it is the local and provincial spheres of government that are actually delaying in utilizing the funds and ensuring that the money gets to those individuals, those victims who are in desperate need of that relief.
You know, if ever your team was in that meeting on that particular day, it was a very sad and embarrassing moment to see a premier, in particular the one of KZN, telling the minister that do not come here to lie to the country and say you have given us money. The money you are talking about, as seated here as a premier, I am told that that money reflected 3 days ago. And in 3 days ago, KZN seems to be having a plan on the ground as to where it should begin and what it should prioritize in terms of attending to the flood victims. However, there is no clear lines in terms of the monetary assistance. And even the money that Gungubele was talking about is not even a quarter of what was expected from KZN. And they have to now start reprioritizing in terms of who do we start with first, because it's money just over 200 million and they need much more. So it is a very embarrassing thing for us as a committee, because you sit there, people have told us that, can you go and intervene? Can you go and make sure that we are attended to? People don't have homes. Their homes have been washed away. They are sitting in halls. Those halls don't have even proper services. They don't have proper water. They don't receive water consistently. They don't have ablutions, let alone bathrooms where they can bath in private. The children are now subjected to a system of no longer a family household that they are used to, a system of a community that they are staying in. They can't study in peace. They don't have IDs. They don't have books. They don't have anything. And you find people that are saying, go back, reprioritize. We can only give you 200 million when you need much more. And it means that they have to now deal with, should we provide accommodation? Should we start with the infrastructure on the roads and the bridges that are not there? And especially with the water supply. The water supply of KZN has been disrupted in a very extreme manner, that all the reservoirs have been affected. So one of the reservoirs that we have seen, it's destroyed completely. So it means that when they don't have water, water is life. Those reprioritization for the KZN is going to be very hard for them now to go back to and tell people that, okay, we are going to give you temporal structures. We will have to identify the land. We will have to deal with taking some of the families, and some of you go and find a way with other family members, or we'll see how do we accommodate you at a later stage. But as things stand, our government doesn't care. Those people that we call them ministers, they came there and they had some laissez-faire attitude that, no, you can get whatever you will receive. Whatever we send to you is enough. That's what we see.
You know, Victoria, we've just been sharing visuals with our viewers of some of the scenes that you were exposed to during your oversight visit. Homes completely submerged in water, really painting a picture of just how desperate and dire the situation is in several of these regions and provinces. Now, we know that Treasury and certainly Cabinet has put up a strong stance in saying that the system of dispersing the funds is one via application once intervention plans and implementation procedures have been put in place. And thus is giving Cabinet reason enough to say that the reason there's been a delay is because of a lack of coordination in the other spheres of government. I want to know from you, this system that's been utilized, the systematic disbursement of funds, is it working at all in favor of the victims of these floods, or should we start trying to find another way of ensuring that relief gets to those who need it?
You know, you just gave a very good example. The people of Northwest. There in the Northwest, there's already confusion on the ground. The executive mayor in the district of Ngakamudiri and the councillor of Tswaying, the councillor mayor of Tswaying, the premier of Northwest, they don't see and have the same attitude towards the relief of the flood victims of Tswaying in Deelbrand. So the houses that are submerged in water, those people have now resorted to stay with other family members. You can begin to see how it's affecting our people, because a household of more than 5 people cannot be accommodated by another family, all 5 of them. It means that they are scattered all over the place. The children are accommodated by other people, and the parents are with another people. And the executive mayor with the community are saying these people do not have to be removed. We need to start draining the water out, which is in Deelbrand. And the premier is saying, no, there is no way. According to the study of our engineers, we can't remove this water because it's pumping from beneath. And the national does not know that confusion that's on the ground. Their coordination is not well, and the coordinating team of the province, the last time it met, it was the 1st of June. They just don't care. They don't know what to do. The executive mayor is telling the communities and the chiefs something else. The premier is telling them something else. The national is saying, for as long as you don't find each other, we're not going to send any money. There is no money that is being sent to Northwest. And therefore, the system is not working. What should be the plan? The plan should be that human settlement, DSD, social development, public works, road infrastructure, they must go down from national. They must go to these municipalities. Yes. They must identify the homes. They must speak to the people and tell them, your home is submerged into this dam. And it doesn't look like, it's 6 months now.
Right.
It's been 6 months. And it looks like we don't have a plan as government to drain the water out.
Right.
Therefore, it means that we must move you to another place. We will provide you with material. Go and build a home of your choice.
Mente, unfortunately, we do have to leave our conversation there. We have run out of time, but certainly a story and developments that we will continue to watch here on Newzroom Afrika. That is Ad Hoc Joint Committee member on Flood Disaster Relief and Recovery and EFF National Chairperson Veronica Mente.